Well guys, welcome back to Master English with Mr. Ridwan, and we are going to continue the next skill, that is skill 4. We still talk about use reduce adverb clause correctly. Last time we learned about the skill 13, talking about reduce adjective clause. This one is adverb clause, so that's we talk about adverb. Okay, it's not in front of adverb, we have to revise. Yeah, it's different with skill 13. Look at this. Adverb clause can also appear in a reduced form, so that in reduce there are only two adjective clause and adverb clause. Okay, another we can't reduce it. In a reduced form, the adverb connector remains, but the subject and the verb are omitted. Okay, so the adverb still exists, but the subject and the verb we erase, not like in skill 13. In skill 13, the connector we not remains the connector, we reduce to with the subject and the verb. Okay, for example, although he is rather unwell, the speaker will take part in the seminar. Okay, subject verb. Okay, this one is connector of adverb, because I'll talk is one of adverb, and it's in adjective clause only three: who, which, and that. But in adverb clause there are a lot. Later on we look at the conclusion. Okay, well, this one we reduce subject and verb to be. Although rather unwell, the speaker will take part in the seminar. Next, when you are ready, you can begin your speech. Okay, when ready, you can begin your speech. Okay, actually there is that we can reduce. Okay, and the sentence is right. There are two examples may be used in either the complete or reduced form. In the reduced form, the adverb connector are true, and when remain or exist, we don't reduce. The subject he and you, as well as the be verb is and are omitted. It's revised. Okay, if there is no verb in the adverb clause, it's still possible to have reduced form. When there is no verb in the adverb clause, the subject is omitted and main verb is changed to be in. Same here with skill 3, we change to be in if there is no be. For example, is like this one. Although he feels rather sick. Okay, subject verb. We want to reduce this one. We erase both of them, and we erase subject. We change the verb to be in if this one is verb 1 or infinitive. Okay, this one if verb 1 or infinitive, we change to be in. Okay, in this for example adverb clause, I'll talk he full rather 6 does not include a be verb. To reduce this clause, the subject he is omitted, and the main verb filled is changed to be fill in. And the second example, that when you give your speech doesn't include a verb B2. To reduce this clause, the subject you is omitted, and the main verb give is changed to be given. Okay, look at the example from the paper complete. When blah blah blah, you are free. Subject verb is mean that there is subject verb here, but we have reduced. Okay, so we need only verb. Yeah, actually subject verb, but we erase subject and we erase subject and be or subject or verb change to be in. Number 1, it's only subject. Number C is subject, is verb and subject. So the real answer is B. Okay, because we only need verb here. Yeah, because we have erased actually this sentence when you are finished. when you are finished, you will reduce and R or verb be will reduced. So the answer is B. It should noted that not all adverb clauses can appear in a reduced form. A number of adverb clauses can only be reduced if the verb is in passive voice. Okay, so we can reduce adverb clause can be only reduced if the verb is in the passive form. Look at this one. Okay, once you submit your test, you will graduate it. This is active one, so we can reduce it. Not all of we can reduce active, but in the passive we can reduce. Once it is submit, your thesis will review, but not all of. Look at this one, the conclusion. This one. Okay, we can reduce in the active. Okay, for example, this one, first, reduce adverb clause. There are two ways. Okay, adverb clause still exists. Subject will reduce. Verb be will reduce is R or was word. Adverb connector still exists or remains. Okay, subject will reduce. The verb will change to be verb in. Okay. Introduce adverb clause. There are time, condition, contrast, place, and manner. There is some of them we can reduce in active, and we can reduce in a passive. But there are some of them in a place and manner we can't reduce in a active voice. Okay. Look at this one. Time in active. After, before, since, while. We can reduce this in active. If, unless, whether, we can reduce in active. Contrast, although, for, we can reduce in active, but there is no place and there is no manner. Okay, so we can reduce in passive once, until, when, whenever. So we can reduce it in active, only in passive. So you have to learn active voice and a passive voice before learn this one. If, unless, where, same, we can reduce active and in passive. Although, same, where, in a place, there's in passive, where, and whenever, and as. Okay, this one, adverb, adverb clause. Look at this. When, adverb clause, adverb of, well, talking about the place, where it is talking about the time. Okay, it's adverb. Okay, to reduce an adverb clause, omit the subject and be verb from an adverb clause. If there is no verb, then omit the subject and change the verb to the in form. Okay, we have to know the meaning too, so that's is appropriate or not. Look at the exercise 14. So take your book and a pen and let's do exercise. Number 1. We have to focus on adverb clause first and the meaning too. Okay, is word structure and look at the meaning too. Okay. Number 1. If a not complex satisfies, you can return the product to manufacturers. Okay, so number 1 is correct. Okay, because it's reduced. Okay, subject verb. You are not completely satisfied. We reduce U and R. Subject and a B. Okay, subject. This one, subject and a B. And second, subject and we change in if there is no B. Okay, number 2. Steph has had to learn how to cook and clean since. Okay, this is subject, this is verb, so it's connector. Actually there's subject here and verb. Okay, since he left home, so we reduce subject and a verb. So if we want to reduce subject and a verb, we have to change this one to be leaving, not left. So number 2 is incorrect. Number 3. The ointment can be applied where needed. Okay, subject, verb. This one is adverb clauses. So it's reduced actually. So it's totally right. Actually, where you are needed, you and are we omit, we reduced. Okay, student number 3 is correct. Number 4, Tom began. Okay, subject verb is mean that in the middle there is connector, adverb of connector. Okay, this one is completing. Okay, Tom began to look for a job after he was completing his master degree in economics. So we erase he and is. So that number 4 is correct. Number 5, although not selecting for the team, he attends. Okay, this is subject verb. This one is connector. Okay, and actually the structure is right. Okay, this one maybe you are not selecting, but he is not selecting for the team. But how come we say he is not selecting? Okay, it's not appropriate in the meaning. It should be he is not selected for the team. Okay, look at the meaning. Yeah, try to learn about passive voice. Okay, how can maybe it is not selecting for. Well, you have to learn passive voice. How will be the meaning if we make it passive? Okay, we have to make it passive. This one, so the meaning is connect to another sentence. So this one we have to select it. So number 5 is incorrect. Number 6, when purchased at this store, the buyer. Or number 6, the buyer get a guarantee on all this time. Okay, when purchased at the store, the buyer gets a guarantee on this time. Okay, and this one, the buyer is subject, is it verb? Okay, if you look at this, it's the right structure true, but the meaning is not. It's not appropriate, because how come the store, someone purchased the store. Okay, but we have to change this one, purchase to be purchasing. Okay, we change to be in. You are purchasing. You purchase at this store. Okay, we can't make it passive. Yeah. Number 7. Okay. The medicine is not effective unless taken directly. Subject verb. Okay, there is the adverb clause and there is reduce one. Okay, the medicine is not effective unless it is taken directed. Okay, it is reduce or omit. Okay, and directly appear taken. Is it right? Yeah. Is an appropriate with the meaning, connect with the meaning. It is taken as it directly, because we talk about medicine, so that we can take the medicine, we can take it. Okay, number 8, you should negotiate it a lot before buy a new car. Okay, subject verb is connector, adverb connector. How come there is by? There is no. Yeah, we have to change to be in. Look at the rule. Yeah. Okay, if the subject meet with verb, we change to be in. Okay, we have to change by to be in. Okay, number 9. Once purchased, the swim suits cannot be returned. This subject, this is verb. Okay, there's connector and there's purchased. Okay, so that once it is purchased, okay, it's connect here, because with it is really reduced. passive. Okay, yeah. Don't forget you have to learn passive voice. Okay, this swim set can be bite, so that is appropriate meaning. Number 10. Stock located near okay subject. This is verb, and this one is adverb connector, and this one is reduce one. Talk, it is located near to. Okay, located. If it is located, what is the meaning? Okay, it means that the town near to coast. Okay, so located. If we say locating, it's not appropriate. How come it the meaning is not what is that? It's even talk is the right structure, but look at the meaning. So if the meaning not connect to another sentence, it will be one too. Okay, even talk is it's totally right in a structure. Okay, for example, the food is eaten by me. Okay, we can change to be the me, I am eaten by the food. What is the meaning? Okay, how come the food eats me? It can't. Yeah. Okay, so it's the right structure, but the meaning is not right. So that still the sentence still runs like this one. Okay, we have to learn about passive voice. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you can understand in this material. Okay, it is the hard one, and next material it will be the easy. Okay, thank you very much. Nice to meet you. And see you.